What's up, y'all? It's poppin'. It's D. About to react to this vid by Pearl Fountain. This is Drake's The Heart Part 6 Breakdown. Every Kendrick diss explained. Okay, so we're going to hear what he has to say about this. I've already reacted to it over on my Patreon. If you're interested in hearing my thoughts, go check it out. But yeah, let's see what he says he was talking about. Let's watch.
We gotta definitely write a song about how we do not diddle kids. Do not diddle kids, it's no good diddling kids.
There's no quicker way for people to think that you are diddling kids than by writing a song about it.
Drake just revealed Kendrick Lamar was given false info about his daughter on The Heart Part 6. On a song that doubles down on the allegations that Kendrick beat his wife from Family Matters.
When you put your hands on your girl, is it self-defense and she bigger than you? Then why is it Whitney denying all of the allegations?
And the allegations that Dave Free, Kendrick's longtime friend and PG Lane co-founder, is the father of one of Kendrick's children.
Why is she following Dave Free and not Mr. Morale?
With the song's album art being a comment from Dave Free on one of Whitney's.
I just have to laugh hearing this again because it's just so goofy. Like, why she ain't following Mr. Morale on Instagram, and why she ain't came out on Twitter and said like, what? These people don't talk. Kendrick nor his woman, they don't talk online. They're not that active. And sure, she may post her couple pictures or whatever on her IG. This is one from 24 weeks ago. I don't think she posts a lot, but they don't just be on the internet yapping and clearing up rumors and addressing stuff. Like, they never do that. So it's like, why would they start now?
Instagram posts of the child. The song is called The Heart Part 6, which puts a pause in Kendrick's The Heart series that began at the start of his career, and fitting perfectly with Drake's association with the number 6. Now, if Kendrick ever wants to continue that series, he has to, like, skip 6 and start from 7, because otherwise this is going to be the song that's going to come up first.
Facts. That was clever. That was very clever. That does fuck his shit up. You know, just like he fucked up Drake's shit, to be fair. Because he named one of his diss tracks Euphoria. So when people look up Drake Euphoria to see what his association is with the show, then Kendrick's diss track is going to pop up.
Intro samples Aretha Franklin's Prove It. Taunting Kendrick to prove any of the career-ending allegations that he made over the past 2 songs. He first responds to snitching allegations that Kendrick hinted at with this line.
Yeah, I know some shit about niggas that make Gunna wanna look like a saint. First I was a rat, so where's the proof of the trial then?
Saying that if any paperwork of the alleged trial that he's referring to Drake snitching in
what's
existed,
Kendrick
would have been
talking
turned
about
up
right
by 1090 Jake.
1090 Jake would've took all the walls down.
A popular social media informant who exposes rappers' court paperwork. And that
I just think it's so funny how Drake keeps referencing like this social media shit and shit about online, and he mentions TikTok and this and that, and it just like goes to show how perpetually online this man is. Like, you got Kendrick and Cole, you know, the other people of the big 3, you know, and they're literally like offline all the time. They're living their lives with their families. Like, they're not social media guys whatsoever. Which I personally respect, to be honest. I've said this before, even before this whole beef. But Drake is just like on TikTok, and then 1090 Jake, he would have got me by now. Like, it's just like, oh my god. So it just really highlights the differences in like mindsets between him and Cole and Kendrick.
Would have a target on his back from anyone associated with the case.
The streets would have had me hiding out in a small town.
Then he addresses Kendrick's claims that he has a mole in Drake's camp.
Have you ever thought that OVO is working for me? The ones that you getting your stories from, they are clowns.
With claims that he knows exactly who Kendrick is getting his info from, and that he's been listening into the conversations where this so-called dirt is being spread.
I got your fucking lines tapped, I swear that I'm dialed in.
And that he's been plotting to spread that fake dirt.
We plotted for a weekend and we fed you the information.
Then comes the line about setting the bait, which would have been a no-brainer for Kendrick to take if he was that desperate for information to respond with, given that Pusha T exposing Adonis crowned him the winner of that beef.
A daughter that's 11 years old, I bet he takes it.
And by playing this chess move and calling out Kendrick's lack of foresight to at least try to verify the information before putting it in a song, he's discrediting everything that Kendrick says going forward, which is going to leave him at a real disadvantage for the rest of the beef.
Is it? Because who with any amount of brain cells believes that? I'm sorry. If you believe that, I'm sorry. You must have a mental disability of some sort. Like, it literally makes no sense at all. If that was your whole plan, which is a stupid plan, by the way, but if that was your whole plan to plot this fake dirt so that Kendrick can take the bait, without verifying the information, then you would have dropped right away. Like, you would have pulled a move that he pulled. Like, when you dropped Family Matters, he already had his shit on go because he calculated your next move. And he's like, okay, if this nigga mentioned my family again, I'm going to end him. And as soon as you dropped that, he dropped 30 minutes later. So the shit was already on go waiting because he did predict your next move and he was playing chess. So if that was the case, if you're claiming that you were doing that as well, wouldn't you have done the same thing? Like, literally dropped right away after he exposed that secret that you planted? When you have been like, oh, ha ha ha, actually, I planted that, I lied, that shit is fake information. Wouldn't that have been more effective? And then why would you go online? You went on Instagram. You literally went on Instagram right away and was like, I ain't got no daughter, y'all, he lying. Like, you went on there to dispute that. So why would you be so quick and reactive to be like, oh my God, y'all don't believe that he lying? If this was all a part of your genius plan, why would you even get on? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, nothing about it makes sense. So it's very surprising that he's taking this angle. It's like, who is believing this? It's like, goddamn out. Who is believing this? What? Anybody over the age of 13 with more than 2 brain cells? Who?
Days and be less impatient.
Then he talks about how the planting dirt went even further. He says that the cover that Kendrick used for Meet the Grams, which was assumed to be all of Drake's belongings that he got from the mole, was planted by Drake to throw him off too.
Even the picture you use, the jokes and the medication.
And now it's making a lot of sense that Drake wasn't thrown off when Kendrick hinted at the photo with the cover of 616 AM. If this was really some mole that Drake didn't know about, he would have thought twice about dropping Family Matters the same night. He would have seen his Maybach glove and been like, oh shit, Kendrick really does have a mole. Drake then references Kendrick calling him a master manipulator in his disses.
Know you're a master manipulator.
Master manipulating, you bid on a speculation.
Admitting to being one here and saying Kendrick is the one being manipulated, and knowing that Kendrick should have thought
So you
twice.
agree? You agree with Kendrick that you are a manipulator and that you lie. That's what you agree and saying.
Trusting the mole, but instead he bid on speculation. He took a gamble on some rumors that ended up being planted. Then he shifts the attack back on Kendrick, reminding us of the dirt from Family Matters that many people skipped over because of the immediate response from Kendrick.
What about the bones we dug up in that excavation?
We first get that line I mentioned before about Whitney not denying domestic violence allegations, and now if she doesn't deny them after this song, we can kind of take that as proof that it happened and that Kendrick really can't come from a moral high ground. And
That's proof because she doesn't address it when she addresses literally nothing ever. Drake's fans, you know what? I don't want to insult nobody.
then he directly responds to the Diddy allegation, reminding us that he predicted that Kendrick would take that angle on tailor-made freestyle.
Talk about him like the young girls, that's a kick for me. This Epstein angle was the shit I expected.
Saying that he didn't even get that info from the mole or anything, it was straight from TikTok.
TikTok videos you collected.
Referencing how Kendrick was saying that the sex trafficking ring went by the code name Tinder. And TikToker Eileen's Garden was the first to make that claim that Drake and OVO were running a private Tinder.
It's so funny because when I reacted to that song, I pointed out that I think he means like Tinder, like young Tinder. That's an old school term that black dudes would use. Like, oh, you young Tinder. Like when they're referring to young girls. So that's what I took that as. But he's talking about a literal Twitter account. I didn't get that at all. Even if you listen to the context that that Kendrick used that in, it didn't sound like he was trying to accuse him of having a Tinder account.
Wait a second. That's that one record where you say you got molested.
What's weird about this is he references Mother I Sober, but Kendrick wasn't talking about himself getting molested on Mother I Sober, rather his family members. Maybe this is just referencing the song because that's what he talks about, and then he got this information from somewhere else, but it's hard not to see this as a slip-up on Drake's part. Here he tries to emotionally hurt Kendrick by bringing up that trauma.
Shout out to all the patrons over on Patreon who brought this to my attention as well, because I didn't know about this song. So when I first heard it, I'm just like, what? You know, but several of you over there were like, no, Drake is slow. That's not what Kendrick said at all. Like, he's flipping the narrative. Kendrick denied that he got molested on that song. He said that his mom, she got molested, so she was trying to project that onto Kendrick. She kept asking him over and over again, like, did you get molested? Did you get molested? And he's like, no. Like, why are you keep trying to force that on me? Only to find out that she herself got molested. So that's what was referenced apparently. And then I went to go look up the lyrics to verify it, and yeah, that's what the song is about. So it's like, why are you trying to twist this narrative?
It's when your father leave you home alone with no protection.
And connecting that to the reason Kendrick was so desperate to reach for the same allegations against Drake.
That's why these pedophile raps and shit you so obsessed with.
He's saying those allegations came from a personal and emotional place. And then he flips back at Kendrick with that therapy-like pity that he showed Drake at the end of Meet the Grams, when he claimed that he empathized with Drake because of his fucked up upbringing of never fitting in.
They acting like it's so aggressive, but you just never know affection.
He references Mariah Carey's Touch My Body to make the joke that whenever that song comes on, Kendrick gets reminded of being molested as a child.
Touch My Body by Mariah Carey play, you probably start reflecting.
I will say this though, to be fair, this is a rap battle that has like crossed the line a long time ago. Kendrick has taken the gloves off a long time ago. He's hit below the belt. Like, Kendrick is in hell. He's taking us to hell, okay? So I feel like I've seen people, you know, on Patreon making the comments that, oh, you know, this is wrong, which I agree. You know, I do think it is fucked up to throw someone's molestation in their face, even though that's not even what happened, which just makes it weird to say also. But I do think it's fucked up as well. But at this point, it's like, if we're going to talk about moral superiority, like, Kendrick, you can argue that he has said some really fucked up things about Drake as well. We don't know with 100% certainty that Drake is an actual pedophile. Is he creepy as fuck? Absolutely. Is he a weirdo? Yes. Is he possibly grooming young girls and like waiting until they turn 18 to sleep with them? It sounds like that's what's taking place. So all of that is very disgusting and disturbing and definitely should be exposed and discussed. But we don't know for sure that he's an actual pedophile, which is what Kendrick is calling him. So we can argue that, okay, he's hidden way below the belt as well. So you can't really be like, well, it's fucked up that Drake is saying this. Because it's like, they're both in hell at this point with the things that they're saying about each other, you know? So.
And then doubles down on denying the allegations from Kendrick for the past two songs by saying he's so big that he would have been caught if it was true.
If I was fucking young girls, I promise I'd have been arrested.
That is such a horrible defense, though. And I'm just so surprised that he would even use that as a defense. Like, are you serious? It took Diddy decades to get exposed. It took R. Kelly decades to get exposed and to go to jail for his crimes. Harvey, fucking Epstein, everybody. It took a long time. So to be like, if I did this, I would be in jail. Like, what? that might be your future. You might end up there if you keep moving how you're moving. And if you are actually on some pedo shit. But using this as a proof of why you're not a pedo is ridiculous. And it's very suspicious. It's like, this is your defense?
Way too famous for the shit you just suggested.
And then saying Kendrick being abused as a child and then betrayed by his childhood friend Dave Free are the reasons for his resentment and targeting of Drake right now.
Like if Dave really fucked your girl and got her pregnant, talk about breeding resentment.
Faking pity, but really just rubbing it in as much as possible.
I'm praying you recover from both incidents.
Then he cleverly flips Kendrick's A minor line from Not Like Us.
Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A
Was
minor.
it clever?
You mentioned an A minor, but niggas gotta be sharp and tell the fans who was it.
B sharp doesn't exist, that's just C.
E flat, E major.
He thought he left Drake flat, but Drake is still major, and it also kind of sounds like he major, referencing Drake taking Kendrick on his first ever tour.
And do Rick Ross air like that one flight from Malaysia.
And here he's threatening Kendrick's life, saying he's gonna shoot him down, referencing the Rick Ross crash landing that he jokingly blamed on Drake, and then referencing Malaysia Airlines Flight 17, which was shot down by the Russians in 2014, possibly implying that Ross was working-
Whoa. I watched a whole documentary on that. We don't know that for sure, okay? That's a conspiracy theory. We don't really know what happened. Very interesting documentary, though. Check it out.
think that Drake had something to do with the crash.
I watched it
and
on
doing so
Netflix.
threatening Kendrick's life. Then he taunts Kendrick by shooting a shot at Whitney
Only fucking with Whitney's not Millie Bobby Brown.
and accusing Kendrick of botting views in his last two disses,
Stop buying views and buy comments.
which have been
And people have like pointed out like, oh, why is he bringing up Millie Bobby Brown? He exposing himself. Nobody, and nobody even brought her up. And it's like, but that is like the narrative that he has been weird with her. That's one of the most popular people that people mention when they talk about Drake being a creeper. But also that was really clever wordplay, because Whitney, his woman, and Bobby, like Whitney and Bobby, so he's mentioning Millie Bobby Brown. So I thought it was dope wordplay.
The fastest growing YouTube videos of 2024. And then he implies that Kendrick is a hypocrite for coming after him for being like Diddy, when Kendrick himself stood up against Spotify for taking down X and R. Kelly songs from playlists in 2018.
Y'all also corrected this on Patreon as well and said that Kendrick didn't even come out and say that. And y'all also said the people who did come out, I think y'all said it was his label or something, or somebody associated with his label, something like that. But y'all said that they didn't even say that R. Kelly should be protected or whatever. They were just saying, they were just pointing out the hypocrisies and how, you know, they don't get rid of certain white artists' music who are accused of heinous things, but they get rid of the black artists. I might be butchering that a bit, but along those lines is what was said.
I really gotta push back on this too because it's still speculation. The media outlet that originally reported on it got corrected by a bunch of other sources saying that it wasn't Kendrick who said this, it was actually just a TDE rep. And then implying that this whole beef was fabricated by Kendrick to sell more albums the next time he drops.
I think that's so rich to say that though and be like, oh, you doing this for clout. You mentioned him first. You literally started all of this first person shooter. And then you were like sneak dissing him before that. I watched a whole video about it. About the history of their beef. Like, you would have sneak dissed this man over and over again. But then when he finally responds, it's, you doing this for clout. Like, how is that for clout when he's responding to you? Like, what are you talking about?
The verse by shooting another shot at Whitney.
Whitney, you can hit me if you need a favor.
And taunting Kendrick about the Dave Free situation again by implying he won't get her pregnant like Dave did.
And when I say I hit your back, it's a lot safer.
We'll probably get a response from...
That is not what he's saying. He's saying, like, he won't hit her back. Like, he's again calling Kendrick an abuser. Jesus Christ, I'm on here. Very interesting. And look, I'm not trying to be biased. Like, I mean, nobody is 100% unbiased. I'm fucking human. But, you know, I am trying to be neutral as much as possible. But it's like, bro, when I'm hearing all this stupid shit, I gotta call it out. It's dumb. If it ain't making no fucking sense, I'm gonna say it ain't making sense. You know, but I see people leaving comments like, I don't think these videos you're reacting to are so biased. Why you being so biased? And why y'all just blindly believing what Kendrick is saying? It's not that people are blindly believing it. It's just that we're using our fucking common sense and critical thinking skills. I don't, what? And there's so much proof out there that alludes to Kendrick's claims being true. Like I said, where there's smoke, there's fire. And we're on the outside looking in at Drake's house and the shit got smoke coming from it. So what are we supposed to think? And then Kendrick just ran out the house. Follow me with this analogy. Kendrick just ran out the goddamn house because he has inside information that we don't. Because, you know, he's in the industry. He ran out the house and he like, hey, niggas, it's a fire in there. It's a fucking fire in there. So not only are we seeing the smoke from the house, Kendrick just came out the house, told us it's a fire. So, maybe, just maybe there's a fire. Maybe there's a fire in there. Hello. So that's all we're doing. We're just putting the pieces together based on the information that is out there. And I have looked for information that proves that Kendrick has beat on his woman. I can't find anything. But you know what I did find? I came across Kendrick's woman's brother's Twitter account. Shout out to my patron who gave me this information. But Kendrick's woman's brother is on Twitter defending Kendrick. And it's been confirmed that this is Whitney's brother. And it just makes you think that, okay, if Kendrick was actually beating his woman, wouldn't the brother not like Kendrick? Why would he be in support of him if he's beating his sister? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, obviously it's possible. Anything's possible. But again, we're just using common sense. It's way less likely that he would be in support of Kendrick if Kendrick was this horrible, deadbeat, dad, woman beater nigga. I mean, again, we're just using our common sense. So, I don't know. Maybe some people should try it. Try using your common sense a little more often. Anywho, that's all I got. I hope these men stop and just let this go. Okay? We've heard enough. We've heard enough. You guys have thought enough at this point. And Drake seems like he's bowing out. He like, I don't even want to do this no more. This ain't even fun no more. So he seems like he's over it, which is great. And I really hope Kendrick stops as well, because I feel like at a certain point, it's going to start to look corny on Kendrick's part. And I would hate that for him. You know, so it's just like, let it go. If you're going to drop your album, cool, drop that. But it's like, goddamn, like, y'all dragging this at this point. Jesus, what more is there left to say about each other? Let it go. You said what you said. But anyway, these are my thoughts. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Let me know what other videos you want to watch, and I'll see y'all in the next time.